For the longest time, I felt like something was missing from every slice of life anime that I watched. I still enjoyed watching them, but at the same time, I never felt invested enough to continue watching all the way through and would always end up dropping them by the end. Now, I'm not the only one who feels this way. I've seen plenty of people say that slice of life is boring to them, and the reason we feel this way is simple. Slice of life anime doesn't really have a plot. No, okay, that statement is technically wrong. Every show has a plot in some aspect, and that includes slice of life, but what I mean by this is that the plot presented in most slice of life anime is really simple. I mean, like, so simple that it doesn't even matter if you weren't paying attention, since it probably won't make that much of a difference anyways. They very rarely have long-term goals or progression, and you'd be very hard-pressed to find even the tiniest amount of stakes or tension. It instead works by giving us a lot of short-term goals, and these are usually resolved by the end of the episode or even just after a few minutes. It plays out with a more episodic nature, or like a series of disconnected short skits that are linked by its characters. Really, slice of life anime works by getting the characters, putting them into different situations to see how they react, and returning to the status quo in the end. Or in other words, a bunch of cute girls mucking around for 20 minutes, but that's not really a bad thing. Being plot heavy and exciting isn't really the point of slice of life in the first place. It's meant to be cute, heartwarming, and makes you smile, something that's relaxing in contrast to the harsh realities of our everyday lives. It's not really meant to have high stakes or tension or anything like that, because if it did, that would defeat the purpose of it. The core of slice of life is really its characters as well as their personalities and interactions, so having a plot in the traditional sense would ruin that, right? Wrong. I believe goals are really important, that they're what makes things interesting. I don't know about you, but I want stories to hook me and keep me watching until the end so I can see whether they succeed or fail. And it doesn't need to be something super complicated or exciting. It can still be something simple and personal which would fit for a slice of life story. I love character interactions, I just don't want to have to sacrifice the plot in order to do that. All you'd really need to do is have a big goal at the beginning that we can follow and let the characters interact in a typical slice of life moe fashion during that. And for the longest time, I wanted an anime that did this but couldn't really find anything, so instead I'd always end up leaning more towards story-driven anime that mixed in slice of life moments, like Steins Gate or Konosuba, and as a result of this, I'd always end up unintentionally avoiding traditional slice of life anime. Okay, small interruption, I just wanted to make another point. This is the synopsis that I read for K-On! See if you can spot what's wrong with it. Hirasawa Yui, a young, carefree girl entering high school, has her imagination instantly captured when she sees a poster advertising the Light Music Club. Being the carefree girl that she is, she quickly signs up. However, Yui has a problem. She is unable to play an instrument. Although disheartened at Yui's lack of musical know-how, they still try to convince her to stay to prevent the club's disbandment. Along with the tasks of school and homework, Yui begins to learn the guitar with the help of the other band members, experiencing many mishaps along the way. However, with the school festival drawing near and Yui getting stuck with her practice, will the Light Music Club be ready in time for their debut? Now, I'm not gonna lie, that sounds kind of interesting. And isn't what K-On! Is at all. K-On! Is like 90% just cute girls doing cute things, but this synopsis gave me the impression that this was supposed to be a story focused on, you know, music. A situation where this ditzy klutz needs to learn an entire musical instrument in just a couple of weeks before they perform live on stage, and everyone needs to help her do that before that happens. Conceptually, this is a really good premise, because it would obviously be hard for Yui, being the airhead that she is, to learn an instrument under pressure, and the deadline of the school festival coming nearer adds stakes. Now, while I still love and appreciate K-On! As it is, I still really want to see how this version of the story would go, even if it was just in its own separate series. Okay, back to the video. For all these reasons, I'd always end up unintentionally avoiding slice of life anime. That was until I found a little show called A Place Further Than the Universe. And it was exactly what I was looking for. This show is, put simply, my favorite slice of life anime so far, one of the reasons being that its entire premise was defined by the idea of doing the opposite of what most slice of life anime do, while still being, at its core, a slice of life. It's about these 4 girls who just want to go to Antarctica, to go on an adventure and make the most out of their youth and do something amazing. And while that's an extremely simple premise, because of how well executed it is, I ended up loving it. I loved its characters, its comedy, its heart, its themes of trying to get more out of your life and do something worthwhile despite how scary it feels is extremely relatable. This show inspired a lot of people because of how realistically it tackled these themes, really bringing to light just how hard it feels to take that first step. Every single episode, these characters would actually make progress on their journey and get one step closer to achieving their goals, but at the same time, it also just let them have fun with each other while that was happening. The way it manages to get both the more comedic and character-centric aspects of slice of life and balancing that with a simple but solid plot that it makes progress on is what kept me watching all the way through. While every episode starts out more like a typical slice of life, it slowly transitions into something slightly more serious and story-focused, which is a great way to integrate both of these things in a way that feels natural. The character development is also insane. Even just within the first couple episodes, our main character goes from someone who's afraid to take risks and always relies on others to someone who is able to think for herself, make real decisions, and be someone that others can rely on. And because of this, she ends up causing a chain reaction and ends up making the other characters around her grow as well. It's amazing writing because it does this in a way that feels natural and consistent. We can see how the decisions these characters make change over the course of the series, or we learn things about them that we never knew about before. And while other slice of life anime don't necessarily lack these things, they're fewer and farther between, usually saving it for special moments like the season finale. This show does it every dang episode, and it never gets old. But by far my favorite thing about this show are these moments of pure emotion. At the end of each episode, everything always builds up to this huge crescendo and it hits you like a truck. The way the music swells, the beautiful animation, the voice actors and writing all combines to create a moment of pure wonder. A moment that feels inspirational without being overly melodramatic. Whether it be a character moment showing just how much they've grown, or reaffirming a key part of their character that's been there from the start, or even just a moment of determined serenity. It's all a culmination of everything that was built up throughout the episode that recontextualizes even the comedy moments and make them more meaningful. Because while other slice of life anime would be more about appreciating the little things, enjoying them as they are, and not really needing a point, this is more about making the most out of your life and doing something worthwhile. And while these two themes are technically polar opposites, neither of them are actually wrong. They're just two sides of the same life-appreciating coin. I'm just glad that with A Place Further Than the Universe, we got to explore the other side of that coin for a change. Now, before I talk about the last thing, first I want to mention, in episode 8, everyone gets really sick, and it leads us to believe that it's because they're seasick, when in reality they were all sickened by how much plastic there was in the ocean. But I know how you could help. Team Seas is a campaign launched by Mr. Beast himself, and just like last time with Team Trees, they plan to clean up the ocean this time. With every dollar donated, 1 pound of garbage will be cleaned up, and our goal is to clean up to 30 million pounds of it. If we can reach our goal of $30 million, then we can make a real difference in the world, and these girls won't be sick anymore. To donate and get involved, go to teamseas.org, which will also be linked down in the description, and while you're at it, follow me on Twitter and like the video so it can spread to more people. If you do, just like the girl on the show, you'll have finally done something worthwhile in your life. That came out way harsher than intended. My name is Brennan Riley, and I will make it to the end of K-On! Eventually. Probably. Thanks for watching.